The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. Virtue is its own reward. The unexamined life is not worth living. Happiness resides not in possessions, but in the soul. To find yourself, think for yourself. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. The first step is the hardest. He who is not a good servant will not be a good master. An unexamined belief is not worth holding. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. A wise person knows that there is something to be learned from everyone. Courage is the first of human qualities because it is the quality that guarantees the others. The key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. The good life is one inspired by love and guided by knowledge. You cannot step into the same river twice. Happiness depends upon ourselves. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The hardest battle you're ever going to fight is the battle to be just you. To live a pure, unselfish life, one must count nothing as one's own in the midst of abundance. He who is not a good follower will not be a good leader. The greatest victory is that which requires no battle. Our life is what our thoughts make it. The only true way to deal with suffering is to overcome it. The more you know, the more you realize you know nothing. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. The purpose of life is not to be happy, it is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think. The greater the difficulty, the greater the glory. Our life is what our thoughts make it. The only true way to deal with suffering is to overcome it. The more you know, the more you realize you know nothing. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. The purpose of life is not to be happy, it is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. Be smart. Choose a woman who didn't have a man for long, because she has found harmony in herself. I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think. Education is the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The only wealth which you will keep forever is the wealth you have given away. Everything flows and nothing stays. A wise man learns more from his enemies than a fool from his friends. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. The measure of a man is what he does with power. Life without philosophy is inane. The greatest way to live with honor in this world is to be what we pretend to be. To find yourself, think beyond yourself. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Time is a created thing. To say I don't have time is like saying I don't want to. It is not that we have so little time, but that we lose so much. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. The secret to happiness is freedom, and the secret to freedom is courage. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Believe you can and you're halfway there. The only way to deal with the present is to remember that it is a gift. Man is most nearly himself when he achieves the seriousness of a child at play. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Life is short, and the art long. The greater our knowledge increases, the more our ignorance unfolds.